The great miracle that appeared today over Mount Arafat and the wrath of Allah that descended upon the kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the holy mosque in Mecca now present a scene that shakes the heart and brings tears to the eyes. Glory to Allah the Almighty. But before we begin, if you believe that the sacrifice of Eid al-Adha is a sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad and you are proud to follow his teachings, give this video a like and don't forget to write in the comments, "O Allah, send prayers, peace, and blessings upon our Lord Muhammad." Beloved ones, what happened today over Mount Arafat is not an ordinary phenomenon. It is a great miracle that became visible to all, a miracle that shakes the heart and brings tears to the eyes. It is the wrath of the Almighty Allah that has descended upon the land of the Haram and the Pure Land. This scene made everyone who witnessed it weep. Glory to Allah the Almighty. And if you are one of the Muslims, press like and subscribe to the channel so we can see how many Muslims will witness this grandiose event. Remember, the one who guides to good is like the one who does good. But before we tell you the details of this touching miracle, allow me to start with the decision that changed the course of events. At the beginning of the Hajj season, the Ministry of Rituals and Pilgrimage of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia announced that this year the Hajj would be restricted to only citizens and residents of the kingdom, and the number of pilgrims would not exceed 60,000, a shocking and painful number that the mind had not seen for decades. Muslims were accustomed to seeing over 2 million pilgrims every year, but despite this small number, there was one story that shook the heavens and the earth. The story of a miracle that happened to a pilgrim named Abdul Rahman al-Qaisi from our brotherly Morocco. Abdul Rahman was a devout man who had waited his entire life for this moment. 70 years of waiting since he was a young boy, dreaming of circumambulating the Kaaba, standing on Mount Arafat, and praying under the open sky. One day an announcement appeared on television about a lottery to participate in the Hajj rituals in 2021. Abdul Rahman didn't hesitate for a moment. He immediately applied, and praise be to Allah, he was chosen. His happiness was indescribable. He wept, prostrated, and prayed because he thought his dream had died amidst the years, but it had finally come true. Abdul Rahman was among the 60,000 pilgrims whom Allah allowed to perform the fifth pillar of Islam. As soon as he learned of his acceptance, he began preparations and set out on the journey with a soul full of faith. Abdul Rahman arrived in Medina, the land of the beloved Prophet, and there he began preparing for the first rite of Hajj. But suddenly something unexpected happened. 73-year-old Abdul Rahman collapsed to the ground from extreme exhaustion, the hardships of travel, lack of sleep, and intense heat. It was beyond his strength. He was quickly taken to one of the hospitals in Mecca, where they discovered severe internal bleeding in his digestive system. And at that moment, a miracle occurred. After a series of thorough examinations and tests, the greatest shock came. The doctors discovered that the pilgrim Abdul Rahman al-Qaisi was suffering from a malignant tumor in his digestive system. According to medical reports, his condition was extremely critical, and the doctors confirmed that he had only a few days left to live and that he must remain in intensive care, as any exertion could hasten his death. But then something unexpected happened. Abdul Rahman categorically refused to spend the last moments of his life within the walls of a hospital. With a weak voice full of faith, he said, "I want to die near Allah, not in a hospital bed. Take me to the mountain of mercy." The medical staff was stunned. No one expected this to be the wish of a man on the brink of death. When the matter was referred to the Hajj Affairs Administration in Saudi Arabia, they didn't have the heart to deny his request, as they felt it might be his final wish in life. Based on high humanitarian considerations, the Hajj administration decided to prepare a fully equipped medical vehicle, like a mobile intensive care unit, with the necessary life-saving equipment and a medical team to accompany him. The vehicle left the hospital heading toward the sacred plains of Arafat, covering a distance of over 50 kilometers amidst prayers and supplications. The scene was indescribable. Everyone who saw the vehicle followed it in silence, as if it carried a message from the heavens. Abdul Rahman finally arrived at the Mountain of Mercy. There he raised his head to the sky, and tears flowed from his eyes like rain. His heart was full of faith, and he did not stop praying, "O Allah, heal me. O Allah, forgive me. I don't want to die." Without completing the Hajj, with a voice choked with tears, Abdul Rahman cried out from the depths of his heart, a cry that seemed like that of an oppressed, helpless, and weak person before his mighty creator. He continued for 2 hours, weeping and calling out to Allah, while the medical team around him stood helpless, unsure how to ease his pain. The scene was majestic. The mountain wept with him, and the sky seemed to listen. And suddenly, after finishing his supplications and pleas, Abdul Rahman collapsed to the ground in a touching moment that shook hearts. The medical team rushed to him and quickly transferred him to the emergency vehicle to resuscitate him. But what happened there was the greatest surprise. After the pilgrim Abdul Rahman al-Qaisi collapsed on the Mountain of Mercy, the medical team was thrown into complete confusion. The instruments in the vehicle began emitting continuous alarm signals. His condition was deteriorating at a shocking speed. At that moment, the doctor on duty shouted, "We must transfer him to the hospital immediately. There's no equipment here to save him. Time is running out." Without hesitation, the medical vehicle sped off like an arrow, covering over 150 kilometers to the hospital in silence, fear, and awe. Everyone understood that the moment was critical, but by Allah's mercy, the vehicle reached the hospital, and Abdul Rahman was taken straight to the intensive care unit. Everyone was ready to save his life. The doctor quickly entered and began performing the necessary emergency procedures. Then he decided to conduct a full set of tests and examinations to determine the extent of the malignant tumor's progression in his body. But what happened next shocked everyone. The doctor was stunned and opened his eyes wide in shock when he found no trace of the malignant tumor in Abdul Rahman's body. The cancer had completely disappeared, as if it had never existed. The entire medical team was in shock. The doctor began flipping through old medical records and comparing them with the new results. Is this possible? Did we make a wrong diagnosis? Impossible. He looked at the old scans confirming the tumor's presence, and then at the new ones showing a completely healthy and healed body. With a trembling voice and tears in his eyes, the doctor said, "I swear by Allah, this is a miracle that gives goosebumps. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Glory to Allah." Indeed, Abdul Rahman al-Qaisi, this simple pilgrim who raised his hands on the Mountain of Mercy and pleaded with his Lord with tears in his eyes, received an answer to his prayer in a rare moment of pure-heartedness. His cry ascended to the heavens and returned, bringing with it only healing. The doctor swore in the hospital that this case could not be explained from a medical perspective. Rather, it was a purely divine phenomenon, a sign from Allah and a message to believing hearts.